Salut, bonjour, comment ça va? J'espère que tu vas bien. Je suis la Bénédicte de la Croix à période monumentose de la livre. Bienvenue sur ma chaîne. Welcome to my channel and welcome to a free class on blessing baths. I will wait for everyone to show up. Hello, Oakley. Hello, Sophia. Hello, Riley. Hello, D-Flow. Hello, Guided Butterfly. The musical. Amanda, Josie, Marisa, Plants and Life. Hello, everybody. How are you doing this weekend? Hello, Jasmine, Snapple, Erica. Desiree Pierre. Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. Welcome in, everybody. So, hello, Kinaru, Impressive Magic, and Amanda. I'm watching you. Harold. Merci, Dr. Stephanie. Thank you so very much. I greatly appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Well, I hope everyone's doing well today. I hope that things are going beautifully for everybody. You need to go on vacation. Life of Javon L. Peoples. Thank you. I plan on it. We will allow, allow things to get back settled. After the fact, I have to, get back in the swing of things. Actually, my time is almost up before I have to start working on next year's vet, actually. So, um, but, I will get a chance to take a little bit of a break in due time. In due time. So, merci. Thank you so very much. So today, night, evening, morning, wherever you are watching this, we are going to be bringing ourselves to understanding how to do blessing baths with a focus on money. Oh, thank you. Thank you so very much. I greatly appreciate it. Um, Bringing our focus to money baths, love baths, and protection baths. But before we get into these, I do want to remind everybody that the May Community Service is available now. This is the service that you all requested. This is the service that that you all made clear that you wanted. This is the May Rain Community Service. There is a typo here. The service will be held on the 28th of May, not April. But the last day to get this service to sign up is on Tuesday, on the 27th. All right. Miss Sharon, I did a whole video on the 4-Blaze oil. If you got the 4-Blaze oil, you should have either seen the video here on YouTube, or there is a replayable video that you should have gotten. So there's that. Joining from the new car. Okay. We are not upset, Tanisha. You better be out here blessed and blessing. I love it. I do think there's still issues, Dragon Jewel. Unfortunately, I would say do your best and try. If you can't get the community service through the website, you can email customer service at conjuresouth.com and request which service you want. Also, if you're getting a service um, with the product, then make sure you leave your current, correct physical address so that we can get all that to you. Okay? Yes, indeed. I'm telling y'all, that's what I love about not just the community services, but just how blessed you all are continuously being. Like I said, as we had, I forgot the Christian that was in here last time. Um, but it is that thing of if you're not as blessed as your pastor, who are you giving your tithes and offerings to and why? Tanisha says, thanks. It's an extra bill, but I've been riding around in a 2007 Camry, so it was time to upgrade. I love that. But as long as you are blessed enough to handle that extra bill, a lot of people really, really have it backwards. They want Oprah money, but without Oprah responsibilities. Oprah pay taxes, everybody. Now, how much taxes as a billionaire, I can't say, but I'm just saying she don't get a return every year. So my thing is, yes, be blessed. Have Oprah dollars. Just make sure you understand with Oprah dollars come Oprah bills. And that is okay because you have the dollars and coins and bread to do what you need to do. It's a blessing being able um, to upgrade in life and know that you are in a space of financial ability, not stability, but financial ability in order to continue to move and live beyond comfortability. This is a limited service. This is a limited service. There are limited products. I do want to make that point clear. And if you are not aware of what service is this is the May Rain Community Service. This is one of those services that I was not going to do this year, but people asked throughout the year, Queen, I need more perfume. I need more cologne. Queen, I need more holy water. I need more May Rain. So, and again, I don't think that I'm going to make this an annual service just because it is so demanding. And also, I am going to see how people are responding to um, the surveys because that also plays a factor. If people aren't, if a handful is interested in the service, but not the majority are interested in the service, then I absolutely feel very comfortable in doing these every 2 or 3 years or something like that. It takes a lot of work. It truly takes a lot of work. So for the big bundle right now, only about half of those have been purchased. Please remember that you can, in fact, um, break this up into 4 easy payments. So don't feel that you don't have the ability to do so. To do this, you absolutely can. And I also think there's one coupon that goes off. I think it may, let me see. If you're a part of the Coven, that coupon may still be available. I'm double checking at this moment. Give me a brief second, please. the mic had fallen down. The internet is not netting right now here. We did just get a downpour just here briefly. Okay. So actually, there is a 10% off coupon that is available in the virtual coven. That is still available, but it will not be available at midnight tonight. That one is removed. So you can use your 10% coupon code with breaking up into 4 easy payments, and I think that's like $37. So I wouldn't be sleeping on this if you can get the products. This service is a purifying and blessing service. So this means I am swiping your slates clean and then replenishing with the seeds that you need to thrive. Adrienne, congratulations, félicitations. I will make sure that I put extra ashe in just for you. So there's that. This service comes with a very nice size of um, holy water, which is your purifying water. I had to collect some Mayrene just yesterday. And it's funny because we haven't had rain the whole month of May. And I was just telling the client, I said, you know what, I need to go ahead and get this rain in here so that I can do the service. And so it rained yesterday and it rained today. So I got some base for your perfumes and your purifier. So there's that. And then also understand with the big bundle, you get the perfume and the cologne and the obsession powder, which there's a video that I taught you how to use that on Tuesday. But also understand I was about to say, I was like, where is the rain? Listen, we had to make it do what it do. Welcome, everybody. Merci, thank you so very much. New members and Black Tigress. I said, what did Queen do? The fat. Listen, we needed to do the second line witches walk. Mm. Speaking of that, everybody, I don't know if you all saw the post from from the from the I don't know if we're still on the front page or not of the Gulf Coast Media Baldwin Times. We may or may not still be on the front page. If so, I'm gonna try to put that below. The internet is just so slow, whatever. So, anyways, I'll put it in the make a post about it. So, anyways, there's that. Community service is available now. If you missed out on it, just please, please, please understand that this is not a service that I actually, again, will be making an annual service like my mother. It took her 50 years to do some personal work for everybody, whatever. It may take me 50 years to do the May Rain Community Service. It just takes a lot. It really do takes a lot. But it's definitely worth it. especially when I see how blessed you all are at the end of it. Oh my gosh. I have a testimony coming from I have a testimony coming from a client where there's a university that has wrongly been treating her, and there was a group, a very particular group of individuals that here's the link to the the article I just posted. When you look at the photos, Marcel, and yes, um, oh, wonderful, Crystal. Yes, yes. So, but anyways, this university, a very, very prominent university, went against this girl and really tried to discredit her for everything that she has worked so hard for. And she came to me and she says, Queen, like I haven't been able to work. She says right now she has gotten the job after, and I'm going to tell y'all about this too, which is why I try to tell people, please be patient with me and be patient with the spirits. When I do my work, I need to make sure it's going to work. I don't have time for you to be coming back and forth talking about Queen. No, I need to make sure that the work is working, that you're going to get what you need. Anyway, so homegirl got this job where they're paying her to get her nails and things done and keeping her up. I mean, pampering. She says, Quinn, I've never had a job like this before. She couldn't get a job. And then she's like, Quinn, never had a job like this before. On top of that, the faculty that was against her, and I'll let her, make her write the testimony. All but one person has either been fired or has left their position. Um, and so that was just something. So I just say, and this was a new client, but and I try to make it clear, be patient. It takes time, whether it's a month or 2 months or whatever else. If you let me do what I need to do, you're going to get what you want, period. Ask the people with the babies who couldn't get pregnant for years. Ask the people in the marriages. Okay, ask the people who I mean the list goes on. I was actually going to show y'all this other lady that I love so dearly, and somebody went against her, and anyways, it doesn't matter. Y'all ready for this class today? So the Mayrain Community Service is available now. There's a replayable video, which is Obsession and Control Conjure. This is Come to Me Conjure After Dark. So that is available. If you miss out on this service, that's in between you and your people, not me. So there's that. I done said what I needed to say. I'll remind y'all on Tuesday that Tuesday is the last day, and after that, there's no coming back. And I when I tell you, I really do not see myself doing this service annually. It's just so much work. It is so much work. But it was raining. It just finished giving me a shower again. So there's that. I also want to just briefly bring this up as well before we get into the services of it all. I am providing the HOODOO Donation Summer Retreat, where we are going to be learning. You'll join us for the graduation of this up and coming graduating class with the Country South Hoodoo Institute. Open enrollment will begin mid-June, more than likely. And then open enrollment begins from June through the beginning of August. So um, so for this retreat, the summer retreat is a donation retreat. It is as low as $26 you can donate, or the max donation is $44. You will join us for the graduation day of the Institute students, we're going to be at the beach, and from the beach, we're going to begin to work with the spirits of the beach, of the ocean. From the ocean, we're going to go to the bayou, and after the bayou, we'll end Monday morning at the bay. So, Dragon Jewel, as I mentioned earlier, all you need to do is all you need to do is email customer service at conjuresouth.com. Let us know which service you would like. Leave your name, your physical address, and all of those things, and we will send you an invoice before the service begins. You can still donate even if you can't make it. That's up to you. Um, that's on you though. I'm not requiring that. Oh, Snapple. Jeez Louise. Alrighty, everybody. So there's that. So this is available. The link is over in the description box. Let us get to work now. Okay? Blessing baths, money blessings, love blessings, protection blessing bath. So the reason I was inspired to do this is because of this community service. A lot of people will see how when we are working with the spirits, may they be living or herbal, animal, curio, etc., so forth and so on, that we are normally using some form of libation, um, whiskey, vodka, rum, perfume, cologne. It's all about this fermentation of it all. But that being said, I thought, some people are going to have these colognes and the May rain and the holy water, and they're not going to know how to use these. So I said, here's a good opportunity for that. Now, last year I did do a replayable class, or at least an online class on how to use perfumes and how to use colognes. Today, I'm not going through all of that, but I am definitely giving you how to use your perfumes. Excuse me, trying to get comfortable here. But how to use your perfumes. So that being said, basic of baths. Know the terms. Okay, first and foremost, please understand that bath does not mean I'm sitting in a tub. Bath is the umbrella term that just means to either wash or to soak or literally to use some form of liquid water based to some capacity is what a bath insinuates. All right. So you don't have to think that whenever you hear someone say a bath is I need a tub. You don't need a tub. And in fact, $231. Excuse me. So, um, so actually, the majority of the time, what you will find is people will do their baths um in a basin or a tub, okay, or like a big bucket, essentially. So I know the baths that I've taken, whenever I've had to go somewhere or I'm in another space, is normally you get a big old bin fill it with the water and the hot water and all of those things, etc. Is normally how it's done. If it needs to be, and you may say, well, Queen, well, how does one, um, I mean, I don't know if we'll go deep into this conversation, but when we talk about like a blessing versus a cleansing, well, I guess I'll just go into it like this. So you have bath, the umbrella term, which means using liquid to some capacity, using a water base to some capacity. All right. A wash. A wash means you are cleansing, you are removing. Okay. A wash means you are removing, you are cleansing. Okay. So when people say bath, don't necessarily assume, and I have this at the bottom of the page, that bath means cleansing. It doesn't. Bath does not mean cleansing, but a wash means cleansing. Is this where fixed soaps come in? You'll see here. So then you have a soak. Your soak is your blessing. That is what you're going to do to bring or to attract things to you. So you have a wash or a soak, but a wash and a soak are both baths. Now, Marcel asks, is this where fixed soaps come in at? Not necessarily, but what does make a difference is the the last step, essentially, to these things. Whereas a um, so for a soak, if you have a tub, you can soak in your blessings. But if you're in a bin, you actually just want to air dry with those things on you and then rinse. And then rinse. Soaps are just for maintaining. Soaps, spiritual soaps, are not baths. It's just to hold you over or just to get you by. But please do not associate using the soap with the spiritual bath. It is not the same. Pardonnez-moi. So, the difference between the terms we've just discussed, but it's also important to understand that there's a difference in formula. There's a difference in the foundation of it. Now, when we get to making these here in a little bit, I'm going to, well, anyways, I can just tell you now. So, for example, your washes has a salt base. There's normally a salt base. Salt is an imperative part of your wash. However, it is not imperative and not um, a foundational element to your soaks. But salt for your washes are without a salt. What are you doing? What are you doing? Making mud water, essentially. Okay? So, that's what I mean by the difference in the formula. One is a salt base, where the other is a sugar or um, a sugar base. It is a sweet base. I saw a video on Spiritual Head Watching, and the woman had to pause people saying my people pronounce. I saw a video on a spiritual head washing, and the woman to pause, had to pause saying my people pronounce people. Y'all, I have to get that head wet, that hair wet. Yes, yes, you do. Yes, indeed. So when it comes to the formula, one is a salt base, the other is a sugar, a sweetening base. All right. So there's that. The other important factor to this is when you do a wash, this is not always necessary, but in some workings, in some baths, it is going to be a cologne base. This is where your holy water comes in from your community service. But you got to understand that your cologne, the base of your cologne, the spirits of that cologne is what makes it beneficial to what it is that you're doing. All right. So for example, I'm trying to make sure I can give you all this without giving too much. So for example, mm, I don't like or dislike Florida water. It's just another cologne to me. It's not, first and foremost, it's not hoodoo. I can tell you that. It is not traditional in hoodoo. It is actually quite modern in the space of hoodoo. The same with the majority of, which is sort of I was just about to get to about using things. See, traditionally, you didn't have Chanel this and Florida water that and Murray's this, that, and the third. What you had were the resins and the petals and these things that you would soak, that you would let sit. And I had this conversation the other evening about um, in the institute about particular things, but you let these things sit. And so it's the oils from these particular plants. It is the essence of these spirits. So whether it's Florida water or if I'm going to dry me out a whole lemon, you know, if that's what the base of it is, it doesn't matter one way or the other. But it also just depends on, again, how it is being worked or fashioned in regards to the um, turning it into alcohol so that it becomes a cleansing. Okay. Um, so that being said, as I was trying to mention the difference, the basis of like a cologne. And again, I'm trying to make sure I can say this without exploiting the culture. So, for example, you know what? This is already one of those things. So, for example, you may use pine soil, right? Or pine. Well, it is because pine is a purifier. But pine is a purifier. It is a purifier, releases everything, removes everything. It is a chemotherapy to your life, removes everything. Whereas if your base is citron lemon, okay, it's going to cut particular things. Whereas if the base is orange, that's going to do something else. Or if the base is something else. So the which is why certain colognes work better than other colognes, which is why certain perfumes work better than certain perfumes. But then also, you have to keep in mind when you start working with colognes. Well, first and foremost, colognes and perfumes are quite modern in the space of hoodoo, but using the oils and the essence of these things are not. The oils, the resins, okay? So, so it's just very important to understand that. And it's the same when it comes to perfumes as well. What is that base? What is that base? What is that major active spiritual ingredient? And so it differs. But I also want to say that is in using the oils, using the resins, using the again, literally the oils of these things. That is the perfume. The extraction of these oils are the perfumes, are the colognes. All right. So there's that. Religiously, religiously, you're gonna find it could include things like dragon's blood resin, but again, the culture matters. Culture matters. Culture matters. Culture matters. Because not every culture had dragon's blood. Not every culture had frankincense. Not every culture had pine, you know. And it's also regional, which is also culture. So whereas we use pine, others use cedar, others use juniper. Somebody else may use a spruce. Okay. All from the same family, but it's different per region and per culture. Because Gulf Coast culture is different than the Gullah culture. Gullah culture gonna be different than your inland areas, Arkansas, hoodoos, etc., so forth and so on. So it's important just to understand you do got to keep those kind of things in mind as well. But any and all of these things, in fact, can be used if there are extractions of these things, etc., so forth and so on. So there's that. From that point, from that point, we're going to move to the next situation. A blessing bath is a soak, which I've already mentioned, or the process of soaking or air drying. So let's get back to that point. So, whereas if you had a bath, you can soak in the tub and allow that at least 30 minutes for that to cling to your body. When you don't have that and you do it in a basin, you would put the petals, the fruit, and all of these things on your body, and it air dries to you, and then you rinse, which is the equivalent of soaking. So this is how you can do a blessing without having a bath. But the key point is not to rinse. So you put the herbs, the flowers, all of the things on your body, you allow that to dry to you, and then you rinse. Because if you put it on and you rinse right off, you have just taken off what it is that you want to bring into your life. Okay? Um, so a blessing is a term that communicates a working that results in prosperous desires, which is different from positive results. What is the difference? A prosperous desire, okay? Do you recommend rubbing the moisture into the skin with baby oil like cocoa butter? Like use the skin with a body oil? No. Like cocoa butter or no. No. If you're here and this is your first time, this is strictly traditional. If it's not what comes out of those leaves, if it's not what come out of the petals, if it's not what come out of the juice of the fruit, we're not just putting things over in there like that. If there's a reason to use coconut oil or coconut, that is one thing. But not using it as a to emulsify or as emollient to the oils to rub onto your skin, because it's not that thing. That's not what it's about. All right. So it's the same as soap, meaning would you let it sit on? If you have a basin for your blessing soap or a stand-up shower because you don't have a tub, one, yes, you could, but two, no, you don't have to. Yes, you could put the soap on and let it sit on your skin and wash off. That is something you could do. But traditionally or actually, you just need to take that soap and go from the bottom up. The bottom up. The bottom up. The bottom up. Just don't use le bon chance down. Don't use le Jean Rapin down. Don't use venez-moi down. You want to go up. And then you can still rinse. I had no idea. The way others explain it is so backwards or wrong. Thank you, Queen. You're so welcome. And the reason, Crystal, you're going to find that most people are explaining it backwards and wrong is because they do not come from the culture. Just because you're skin folk don't make you kinfolk. And when I say kinfolks, I mean kin in the spiritual sense that if you did not grow up in the culture of hoodoo, obia, or gree, you're not going to hear it from there. And if you did not have a mother like Mama Anne or Papa Tuki, my papa, mon père, ou ma grand-mère, la reine Suzy, Mama Elsie, etc., so forth and so on, you're not going to know this stuff. And they can't teach it. That's why the majority of your spiritual entertainers and the majority of your spiritual performers on social media all say the same thing. Why? Because they're reading from the same books and they're regurgitating it and putting their spin on it, so it makes it feel or seem as though they know what they're talking about. Okay. But the reason why they all sound the same, like I said, I tell people this all the time. Y'all don't think it's strange that when you start looking at a Mexican person talking about doing candle work, it looks just like African magic, that looks just like the European magic, that looks just like the Asian magic with everybody online? How is it that everybody is different and it is so close that everybody doing the exact same thing? And it's not because they've stolen all from Black people or African people, but the truth is, when they began to release books and those things, it came from a certain group of people. And those people began to use their culture or their magic and say it's hoodoo. Ain't nobody writing no Seal of Solomon. That's not a thing in hoodoo. That's not a thing in hoodoo. That's not what we do. Write petitions and write it in cursive. Which enslaved people were writing in cursive? And hoodoo was a thing before they learned to write, my love. You know, it's why I love when people, if you ever hear anybody talk about use essence of citronelle or citronelle at all, you already know they just picked this up probably from the Zora Neale Hurston book. But that's not what we use. And that's also how I know that even with Zora Neale Hurston, with what she received, they did not give her the secrets, because we tell people citronelle so that we don't tell them the real thing. We tell people rabbit tobacco versus calling it whatever it is that you may know it as. You know. So, so there's that. So the difference is here, as I was mentioning, a work that results in a prosperous desire is different than is working in a positive result. For example, if my money is, if my money is funny and I do a money bath, I'm going to get I'm going to get a prosperous desire, meaning a good result is going to come from that. Meaning, I'm going to excel, achieve, succeed, retain, attain with this money. Okay, it was looking funny, and now it's not. But it's a prosperous desire. But a positive result is different than a prosperous desire. What does that mean? If I do protection work on myself, it is a positive result for me. It's a hell of a day for you. Oh my gosh. Okay. A protection for me may be your purgatory, my love. So it's a positive result for me, but it absolutely may be your last days, you know. And so just understand that a positive result does not equate to a prosperous desire. So a positive thing just literally means that it is something in your favor, but it may not be in the favor of somebody else. Whereas prosperity is going to be good for the goose and the gander, if that makes sense. That laugh is so dangerous. I love it. So, yes. So that's just something to understand too when you're doing your things. Absolument si si, pardon-moi, je suis désolée. Qui si. Kasi en français. So there's that. Let us get into your money bath. So for your money bath, I love this working so very much. You're going to need a couple of things. You need your May Rain perfume. You need a whole pineapple or grapes or muscadines. You need $4 per person who is to be blessed by this, okay? Now I'm going to tell you the two ways you work this. Now, it's important that you do have the May Rain perfume because of the base of the perfume. What are the spirits that I'm using for this perfume? All right. You can go and get Chanel number 5. You can go get your, what's that other one that people used to get? Ed Hardy. I believe it was like a thing back in the day. So Ed Hardy, you can do your Givenchy, you can do your Burberry, you can do your Bulgari, you can do whatever you want to do. Of course, and as a sweetener. But if you want the max results, you need the May Rain perfume. So option number 1, you take a whole pineapple, you cut off the top, you scoop out the insides, you put it in a pot. You are then going to add 4 splashes of your May rain. Once you have done that, you are going to add, depending on how many people are using this bath, you can add a cup or 2 cups per person, as well as half a cup of sugar per individual. All right. Once you've done this, bring this to a simmer. Excuse me, $4 per person. Put this in the pot as well. $4 per person puts in the pot as it is simmering. Once it has simmered and cooled down, anyone who wants to take part of this bath can. What you're going to do is you're going to take a bath, clean your body first. After you clean your body, you are going to take this pot into the bathroom and you're going to take some of that solution, dip your hands in it, take $1 and start rubbing up your body. Rub up your body, rub up your body, rub up your body, rub up your body. Next dollar, rub up your body, rub up your body, rub up your body, rub up your body. You do that with 4 different dollars. You are going to air dry. After you air dry, you can rinse off. Take those $4, place them in your backyard and nail it down so that you keep getting that sweetness. The other way that you do this, say for example, you don't have a pineapple, you don't want to do a pineapple, you do the same thing, but you can do it with grapes or muscadines. And you can actually do it with 4 different fruit, but grapes or muscadines would be the most ideal for your money. All right? You can do it the exact same way. But the flip side of that, which is what I really, really like, is you use a nail. You use a nail. Fold it up and you're using, so for example, you're using $1 per road. Fold it up, take in your backyard, dig a little hole, nail it down with a nail, period. The other thing is, and this one I really, really like a lot, you may or may not want to use this, but it's up to you. Cut off the top of the pineapple, scoop it out, do everything the exact same. However, when you finish, every dollar you've bathed with, you put back in the pineapple. Seal the pineapple up, nail 4 nails in the top, bury it in your backyard. This protects your money. The spikes on the pineapple keeps anything from coming in, but also your money from going out. Don't have muscadine, but I do have muscadine wine to be used instead. If you got muscadine wine, that can be used instead. Absolument. Super. Et voilà, you can do that. Now, the other great wonderful thing about this particular working is the water that you have left in that pot, you can use to soak your front doorsteps. Danielle says, what if you don't have a backyard? And the congregation says, comments, I'll let y'all answer it for her. In 3, 2, 1. A plant can be used, or exactement, crossroads, 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 crossroads. Yes, crossroads will also work for you as well. Super. And what I loved about this past Conjure Fit is that we were able to pull from the crossroads, but I was able to show you all about using essentially the phases of the sun, spaces of the crossroads versus the roads, the dirt there. So you're going to use those 4 quadrants of the road to plan it there. Exactly. I'm telling y'all, that's why when I tell you guys and I get chills just thinking about it, I know for a fact the day that I have to just step back from this, or the day that my mom just go ahead and start taking clients, I feel so confident in you all and knowing what to do because y'all are so well educated. You're so well educated. Take it to the crossroads. Sound like a new single. Could be. Absolutely could be. See you at the crossroads was a new meaning when I hear Bone Thugs and Harmony. Yeah, I bet it does sound a little bit different now. Doesn't quite have this. It hits a little bit different, right? So, anyways, those are two things. But also, too, you can use this water, the what you have left over, and you can soak your front doorstep, soak your front yard. Use this as a blessing water for money that you can sprinkle in your front yard as well. So that is an option as well. The next one is love blessing. Again, we're going to use that May Rain perfume. If you don't have May Rain perfume, you can get that with your May Community Service, which comes with a holy water cologne, which is a purifying cologne, your May Rain perfume, as well as an obsession powder and a replayable obsession and control conjure video, which is your Come to Me Conjure After Dark. So there's that. That is available now. Link is over in the description box. And please remember that this is a limited um thing. And again, when I tell you all, and I don't say this to put fear in you, but when I'm telling you, there is a good possibility I will not be doing this next year. So if you don't stock up now, you won't have it. You won't. I'm telling you. Um, I'm being honest, and I don't want to. The reason why I'm being so frank about it is because a year from now, when it comes back up, and I say I'm not doing it, I don't want it to be taken incorrectly or rude. Just be aware, okay? The powder of it all. Thank you, Queen. You're so welcome. Absolutely. Um, and limbs are changing. That's why you have to travel. Number one, which my people here know, you are not too high not to travel. But then also two, as I just was mentioning, you don't use the roads. You use the quadrants of the roads, the phases of the sun. Okay. Oh, wonderful, Rikila. Um, could you use a bath with a triple? Could you use? Could you also do a bath with the 888 blessing oil? Yes, you can. In fact, you absolutely can. Listen, I've had to travel to other city for a crossroads. You must find one. Exactement. Exactement. Très bien. Okay. Love Blessing Bath. You need your May Rain perfume, 4 oranges, or 4 different fruit. It must be 4 different fruit. If you're going to do fruit, there will be 4 different ones. Watermelon, melon, honeydew, cantaloupe, um, oranges, whatever. Okay. 4 different flowers and 4 handfuls of rice. But this is where it differs. Okay. You do 2 handfuls from your right hand. You do 2 handfuls from your left hand. Okay. If you have a specific target, put that target and you um in the bowl. Sit this bowl in water, fill the pot up, let it just sit overnight. After it sits overnight in the morning, in the morning, in the morning, you take this and you are going to either fill your tub up as hot as you can take it, add a little bit of honey, pour this over in your tub, and you soak in it. You soak in it. You can air dry and then rinse off. There's that. If you want to make it hot and spicy, add ginger root to your bath. If you are looking for a good time but not commitments and those kinds of things, then you can take this mixture and you can bathe your sidewalks and your doorways and your front door. Okay? Now, here's my question to people. So I'm giving you all a pop quiz. Pop quiz. Before I decide to do this on my sidewalk, or before I decide to soak my body in this, what should I do first? Because this is actually like step 2 in the grand scheme of things. What is step 1? What is step 1? Well, step 1 would be divine, divine, divine. However, we've already divine, or you don't care to divine and you want the love. You want the love, you want the love. So we've already passed the divine step. What is the next step? What is step 2 then? Clean and cleanse. You better say something, Erica. You better say something. Clean and cleanse it. Yes, indeed. Exactement, exactement, exactement. Because if your sidewalk, if your walkway, if your stairs or your body is not clean or cleansed, your blessing can only get so close. Because those roads are congested. They are congested. So unless they are clear and cleansed, cleaned and cleansed, you're going to see him, her, them, they, those, whatever, but you may not be able to reach them. Here is another thing, and y'all about to get upset for some of you, but I don't care. You can fight me on site or in the comments. When you do this working, or even the money working, please make sure you have a road for your money to come down. Please make sure you have a road for your love to come down. And you may say, well, Queen, what do you mean by that? What I mean by that is, I don't care that you lay here and marinate in this love bath, but you're not going to go out to the bar or to the comedy club or to the wine and paint night or the mixology drink situation. If you cleanse and cleanse those roads, but you're not traveling down them, my dear, then what are you doing? Don't talk about you want money. That's why I tell y'all when I do these community services or you come to me about doing money work, don't tell me bring money in your life and you ain't got no avenue for the money to travel down. Queen, I need $50,000. Okay, I can do that. Easy. I can easily do that. But where is it coming from? Did you start a GoFundMe? Or did you apply for a new position? Or did you create an event for money to come into you? Exactly where is this money coming from? Who's giving it? We outside. Like I said, I'm watching. I am so watching. I will look. I will not judge, but she's watching. Okay, I support the shenanigans and again and again. Yes, indeed. I just said I'm waiting for my man to climb through a 3 floor window. You better give him something to be climbing through the window for, is all I got to see. So, moving forward, so as I mentioned here, not the Spider-Man of it all, just make sure that your blessings have a road to travel down. Make sure that those roads that they're traveling down are cleansed and clean. Make sure that things are good on those roads so that you are absolutely getting those quick results. All right. So mix all of this together. Let it sit overnight. Soak it up in the morning. Air dry it, rinse it, keep it moving. Use this, in fact, and you can use this water again on your roads. You can scoop this up in a spray bottle and spray it in some places. I will tell you too, if you take this kind of water and you add vodka to it, it'll keep it from becoming like rancid, and it will keep it give it longer shelf life that you can use in other spaces as well. Okay. Absolutely, Oakley. So, so for the next situation of it all, protection bath. For your protection bath, you are going to need your Mayrene perfume. You're going to need bay leaf, peppermint, clean and cleansed broom straws. All right. You are going to put all of this in a pot with some water, and you're going to allow it to simmer. Once you've done that, place it in the tub with you or take it to the bathroom. Take this with you. Now, you got to understand, this is what's very important. Do you want protection or are you protecting? If you want protection, take those straws out and bring them up your body. If you are trying to remove people and repel them, one way or the other, you're either going to get the protection or you're already just removing what is there. Okay, so you got those two options. Once you have done this, you are going to air dry. You are going to take the straws and you can make a cross out of them, tie them into a cross. Um, so you can tie them like this, and you can hang them like in your trees, or you can nail them at your front door behind paintings. And this will be a charm that you will use to keep people from coming in that don't belong or um, repelling people. But also, but also, if you wanted to, you can begin to take these straws and fashion them into a variety of different things. You can make a doll out of them, and then it's a protection doll that you can put up and or put the cross in the back. Cut open a teddy bear, stick it in the teddy bear, sew it back up, sit it up somewhere, and now you have a protection doll baby. But these straws are going to remove people or repel one way or the other. But you want to, again, use your May Rain perfume, your bay leaf, your peppermint, add it all to a pot. Simmer with the broom straws, and it be clean and cleansed. So I'm gonna tell you, it's better just to buy a new broom. To be honest, if you don't have a new broom, don't use, and use like straws. Don't use the plastic broom. You can take an old broom, just make sure you clean it and cleanse it. And from there, you can cut those off, place them in your pot, use those to work up your body or down your body. Once you've done that, you want to, I'm paying close attention, you use that and you can tie that up into a little cross and you can use them as charms at your house. And that's how that would be used. You can then take this same water, okay, and pour it out at your front door and around your property to protect your home as well. If you don't want to make the crosses with the broom straws, you can just take it and pour it at your property and those things. Okay? Very easy, simple things to do. I want to just say thank you all so very much for I want to say thank you all so very much for joining this evening or today. Again, I think today is the last day that you can use your 10% coupon if you're in the Coven. You can join the Coven by pressing the join button here if you want to do that. Outside of that, you can separate the payments into 4 easy payments. I do want to communicate again. Do not expect to have this community service in 2026. So stock up is the best thing I can tell you to do. I look forward to seeing you all very soon. I'll see you all more than likely on Tuesday. Okay? Have a great one. Until next time. Links are over in the description box for the May Rain Community Service, as well as the Summer Donation Retreat. See you all soon. Y'all are so welcome. Thank you so very much.